Hi, Gabe. Welcome in to our very first ever episode of What's Possible. This is a big deal. This is a big deal
Yeah, no, this is
because,
awesome, dude. This is awesome.
yeah, you just, so you're, for those who don't know, you're a singer-songwriter and you just released your third ever song on Spotify called Upstate.
Yeah.
Um, how does it feel to have released your third song on a streaming service? Because, you had two other songs before this. And I feel like once you hit that three mark, third time's a charm type thing, like you're kind of established into music now. I feel like how does that feel? How does it feel to be established?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm getting there. I don't know if I'd necessarily say I'm established yet, but we're getting there. Yeah, I mean, it's just great. I had like, the Sidewalk Was The Shore and Cold, but yeah, I really got to start sort of, building that the the repertoire of songs.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to put this one out. This one is yeah, it's called Upstate. I wrote it about upstate New York, which is where most of my family is from.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, it could be upstate, could be wherever people want it to be. But so
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
really like I played it for like my grandma and stuff and all them when I wrote it, and I think it's gonna be really cool for them to be able to like listen on like actual platforms and be like, oh yeah, like we heard
For
this
sure.
like the day after it was written, and now it's up.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's so exciting. I mean, do you get like a lot of nerves when it comes around to release time for a song? Or I mean, what do you feel when, it's the night of the song releasing and you're like waiting for it to upload onto Spotify or something? Like, take us through that. What's that feel like?
Yeah, I think the first time, like when I was releasing Cold, my first song, that was definitely pretty stressful because like at that point I was still like I was still in high school, I was still in my hometown and all that. And it was kind of like that anticipation of like not knowing whether it was gonna do like because I didn't want to just like put out a song and it's like, oh, this kid's putting out music.
Yeah.
So that was definitely nerve wracking. But I think after I got one under my belt, and then the Sidewalk Was The Shore kind of got a little bit of traction on TikTok and stuff. It was like it's more just excitement at that point.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but with this song, with your third song, Upstate, take us through the process of how you created it. Was there like a specific process that you do, or?
Yeah. So I write all my songs just like me and my guitar is kind of like sitting wherever,
Hmm.
and I don't know. So like for this one, I just had this like I had written the song and then in my mind I had this like that the second chorus. I don't know if you've been in any of the lives where I've played it or anything, but I've posted on TikTok.
So
Um,
I joined one live. I think the first live that because I didn't know you did lives on TikTok, but
I just
I
started. Yeah.
no, I think it's so cool. I really think it's a cool way to like build your community because there was a lot of
Yeah.
people in there like chatting, and I
Yeah.
just thought it was so cool that you have like a little fan base like active on your
Yeah, no, I
TikTok
love
live.
that. It's really cool to be able to like talk to people and stuff. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I that second chorus, I had this like yeah, just the idea of these like huge like kind of tom like drums like almost like a live sound, and I thought that this song like my the first two songs are more kind of stripped back.
Mhm.
This one is still pretty stripped back. Like the recording is not very produced up at all, but it was kind of just like with producing music, it's kind of just like trial and error, and
Mhm.
I mean it's a lot of time just like yeah, figuring out what works like figuring out how I want to, manipulate this drum and
Yeah.
what pianos I want to put here and stuff.
You produce all the music yourself. You're behind all of the production.
Yeah, everything. The production, mixing, mastering, I do it all, yeah.
That's
Um
crazy. That's awesome though.
yeah, it took me a while to get to the point where I felt comfortable like releasing like what I had done cuz obviously I
Hmm.
didn't want to like I don't know if you've like heard some of the stuff that I had on SoundCloud, those demos.
I
Um
have. See, there's I'm gonna just say this. There's two type of Gabe Quinn fans out in the world. There's ones that know you have a SoundCloud and ones that only hear Spotify stuff. I'm not saying certain fans are better than the others, but no,
yeah, no, yo,
no, that's awesome.
you've been here a while. Yeah, I remember you hitting me up like when I would like post like cover when I was still doing like covers on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah, I think I can even remember. I don't remember exactly what song you were singing, but I think the first TikTok I saw of you was maybe I think you were sitting on like a curb or something at night,
Yeah.
and you were playing a song. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember like falling in love with it, and like I just like your voice has a really unique sound. I feel like, and I don't know. Ever since then, I've just been a huge fan.
Thank you. I think I know exactly the video that you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what song you were
I
singing,
think it
but
was Georgia by Vance Joy.
yes, okay, so
Yeah.
you're right because I was
Yep.
really into that song around the time, and
Yeah.
then it popped up on my For You page, and I was like, wow, this is great. But
Yeah.
um, no, can I just say really quick, my favorite song that you've released on Spotify so far is "Cold,"
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I want to know what's your favorite that you put on Spotify.
I mean, it's kind of tough to choose because like they all have such like different vibes. Like
Hmm.
the Cold was a little more like it was definitely a little more like depressing and sad.
Hmm.
Um, and then Sidewalk Was The Shore was more of like sort of upbeat, summer
Yeah.
nature, granola vibes, you know.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that whole granola thing in a minute because I am so curious about what granola is. But
Okay.
literally, I've seen it like all over TikTok, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. But that leads me to my next question. Like, you have like a very specific style of music. Would you call that granola?
Well, I think so. Like granola is like the vibe, like the
Like the
like
aesthetic?
hiking. Yeah, the aesthetic. Yeah,
Okay,
like the
okay.
hiking in the mountains, like oatmeal. Um, but I don't know. I try to. I mean, I think my vibe is just. I mean, obviously, I love like nature and outdoors and stuff, but um, like my vibe is just Gabe, you know. Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
and I
Um,
definitely love that aesthetic though. And this.
I just feel like, when I see your videos on TikTok, I think the most recent one you might have uploaded or that I've seen was a recording of you performing Upstate, and you were like recording, your phone was recording a computer that was
Yeah.
just like, and like that's not particularly like high quality.
Yeah.
And I like, was that intentional? Is that type of like your strategy to keep your aesthetic and keep your style of like, to kind of fit your brand of music?
Yeah. Well, I think that like with promoting music, it's like. I mean, I'm sure you've seen like people on like TikTok and stuff that it's just like really shoving the music in your face. And I guess what I try to do is just like, I don't know, kind of keep it casual because I feel like when I find music that I enjoy, especially on social media, it's like you want to feel like you've just stumbled across like someone just, yeah, creating and enjoying music. You want to feel like you found it. You don't want it to be like pushed onto you. So that's what I try to do. I try to do that.
And I feel like you really have distinguished yourself there. Like, I feel like your music and the way you promote your music has sort of like I would say like timeless element to it, especially your music, compared to like, I'm not calling anybody out, but like some like certain TikTok artists, especially in recent years, like, like you said, they really try to push their song, and it's all about getting a TikTok dance and stuff like that. I really feel like with your music, it's special. So,
Thank
I
you.
just think it's
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but so, your era right now, we're going to call it your era, your aesthetic, granola, the folk music, the genre is folk music, right?
I think yeah, the Sidewalk of the Shore definitely lean more folk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I still think that I'm in like the singer-songwriter type vein though. But those are kind of interchangeable.
Do you see yourself like kind of staying in this type of era, genre of music for the rest of your music career, or
I mean,
what do you see?
I definitely am just a huge. I think acoustic music, yeah, is definitely like.
Hmm.
I mean, it's what I love writing. It's what I love listening to. I like all genres, but that's it's like what speaks to me the most. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna be doing whatever moves me personally. And I mean, if I like the music, then I'll keep putting out yeah acoustic music.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's like it's like I write on acoustic instruments, so it's like I'm not gonna like go and like make like a pop beat and like play the
Yeah.
song for that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. No, that makes total sense.
yeah,
Um, but okay, so I got to pull up some evidence for this next one. All right, but almost a month back at this point, you uploaded like a clip to TikTok of like an original song that you wrote, and the line that you wrote was "South Carolina's where I grew my legs," with a disclaimer saying that you're not from South Carolina,
yep,
and apart from that, like the song really seemed like it was coming from like a genuine place. You being 18 and all that stuff. It was
yeah,
about like the realities of growing up.
yeah,
But my question is, how do you balance like creating music from an authentic place, but also like taking creative liberties to make sure your writing is fresh?
yeah. I mean, that song in particular is that's fun. I think I might have mentioned in the video, but that literally just like that line just came to me in the shower. I was like, okay, we'll roll with it. But I think yeah, there's definitely like a fine line between like making stuff up and like still having the emotions be authentic because like some of the stuff that I write is, yeah, like it's not 100% like from my experience, but like the emotions are all definitely still very like close to home and relatable. Um, but yeah, obviously I'm from Massachusetts. I'm not
Yeah.
from South
No,
Carolina.
so see, before we got on this interview, or like a couple days, I think it was yesterday, I didn't even think about the time zone differences. I was like, okay, this kid always is in mountains when he's recording his TikToks. He's probably in a different
Yeah,
time zone than I am. I need to send it.
yeah.
I'm from Kansas, so it's flat here. No mountains, no
Okay, yeah,
vibes like that. But sometimes we get a good sunset every once in a while. But
yeah. Actually driven through Kansas. I drove through last year and I drove through this summer again. It's definitely different. I'm in Tennessee right now for school. So I'm. Are you guys central in Kansas? Are you central time
yes,
zone in
yeah.
Kansas? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
with you
no,
there.
yeah, it's definitely not nearly as cool as any mountainy places. But do you ever feel like, you said you're not ever going to go make a pop beat, but like, let's say in the future you did want to make a pop beat. Is there anything from stopping you into doing that? Like, um,
I mean, no. Actually, I actually have. There's this one song that probably not gonna be released anytime soon because, but it's a very like it's called Paint the Sky. I think I posted some clips of it acoustically on
mhm.
TikTok, but I did a produced version and it's like very like it's very pop. Um, so I'm definitely not opposed to that. It's just not. Yeah, it's just not. I guess where the
Yeah,
focus
yeah,
that I'm
not on
on
the
right now.
forefront of anything. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Um, but no, so today, right before this episode, I saw that you hit 300,000 streams on one of your songs, "Sidewalk Was the Shore," and just I want to know like how do the numbers play into creating music? Does it ever get in your head? Does it ever feel overwhelming? Like tell me about that.
I guess yeah. It's a tough thing because like obviously, like you don't want to be like driven by the numbers or anything, and that's not why I create music. But I mean, it's obviously it's like it's nice to have like people want to be listening and want to hear your music. Um, but yeah, I'm just so thankful that there is like 300,000 people that have listened to this song. Like that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I try not to think too much about the numbers and kind of just create
No,
for
for
me.
sure. Yeah. And I feel like that's really important, especially as starting out. Would you say like, starting out you got to really be in it for your passion, I would say.
Yeah, totally. Because yeah, I mean, if you really like work hard enough at something, the accolades and all
Yeah.
that stuff and the success will come. But I mean, it's at the core of it, it's got to be you're doing it for you, not for the external stuff.
Um
Yeah.
but before you got here, releasing music on Spotify, hitting 300,000 streams, I want to know how did you originally like get into songwriting? What first got you into this world?
Yeah. So my dad has played guitar since he was 15, and he's really into rock music, and my whole life he's been bugging me. He's like, when am I gonna teach you guitar? Like someone's gotta take these guitars when I can't play anymore. And I would always be like, oh, maybe next month, maybe next year, whatever. And then finally over quarantine, I was like, yeah, fine, I'll learn
Yeah.
to get him to like
Yeah.
stop bugging me about it. And then I just loved it. And then I started writing songs maybe a year after that. It was like summer of 2021 or something. Um, and I've always been a fan of like creative writing, like poetry and all that stuff. But yeah, so I started writing summer 2021, and the first song's
Oh
awful,
gosh.
awful,
Yeah.
awful, awful. There, there's so many that are never. I'm gonna be the only one to ever read those. But yeah, over time they started to get, I started to get more,
Uh-huh.
you know, excited about them and proud of
Yeah.
them, and finally ready to
Okay, where
share.
do you write these songs? Do you put our notes app or like do you have a journal? Like what do you do?
Yeah, I use the
Okay,
Notes app.
yep.
I know people that use like a notebook, and I guess yeah, like writing it down physically. That there's probably like something to that, but yeah, it's just convenient, and I just record everything in my voice memo. So I
Yeah,
remember.
no, that's like I feel like I saw an interview with like Olivia Rodrigo, like she's a huge artist right now. She does the same thing.
Yeah,
Like but
yeah,
you also said that your dad was into rock music, right? And like that's what he so what did he think about you going like doing more folky acoustic music?
I mean, he's very supportive of me and what but it's funny because like I'll jam with him a bunch, and like he'll be like, oh, you got to work on your leads, and I'm like, I do have to work on those, but I can't I can't rip a rock
Yeah,
solo right
no.
now. I gotta get
I
better
think
at
that's so
that.
interesting though. But So why I want to know why songwriting, why making music over anything else? You know, you could be a painter. Why not?
I could be a painter. I used to draw a
Oh,
lot
really?
actually. In like, middle school, I was like pretty good at sketching. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah, it's kind of weird because I have no idea even like why I wanted to like why I even started writing songs and it kind of quickly like sort of took me over and kind of changed like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I guess with my life and stuff. But I honestly don't have an answer to that. I have
No,
no
I mean
idea.
like that makes sense. It just kind of clicked, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it just moved me. Yeah,
But who, you know, back in the day, you did a lot of covers on TikTok. That's kind of
yeah.
how you started out, or at least from when I discovered you. I want to know who's your favorite artist to cover?
I think honestly, I'd have to go like Ed Sheeran just has so many coverable songs, and so I absolutely love his music. I have a whole playlist like just dedicated to Ed Sheeran, and I like ordered the songs by like what I think like my
What's your favorite
favorites.
album of his?
Yeah,
You have a favorite album?
I think I'd have to go Multiply, the green one. Yeah, there's so like there's not one miss on that
Yeah.
album. But yeah, like yeah, Castle on the Hill. Oh my
Castle
God,
on the Hill.
like
That's a classic. That is,
that's mainstream, but like it's just so good.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
definitely so
yeah,
good. Um,
yeah,
but so you said you were writing songs in 2021, and that was kind of around the time you were doing covers, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
what made you comfortable to like start? What was the song, I guess, that was the turning point to start uploading original songs to TikTok?
yeah. I mean,
Is there a specific moment, or like how did you get comfortable with starting that?
yeah. I guess I think the reason that I like started doing covers, yeah, was because I was like still kind of insecure about my songwriting and stuff. But I think maybe like I was like, oh, I have like a couple hundred people that
Mhm.
follow me, so they probably they might want to hear like my songwriting. Yeah, I don't even know because those were still I still probably only had like a few. And you know what maybe actually happened? I probably played a song like to my mom or something, and like it made her cry, and then I was like, oh, this must be
That's the
great. I
ultimate
gotta share.
deciding factor, right? Your mom cries and
Yeah,
you got to upload it for the rest of the world to
exactly,
see. No, that makes sense.
exactly.
Um, but now you have a lot of songs on SoundCloud that are not on Spotify.
Yeah.
What's kind of the differentiating factor to if a song goes to SoundCloud or if a song goes to Spotify?
I think my thought process behind like posting on SoundCloud was like I gotta just start putting like something out there, and SoundCloud's a good place because it's like I mean those were all just like super rough demos and um so I wasn't like too concerned with like making it be like a finished product,
Mhm.
but like definitely for the four songs that are on SoundCloud I mean those those are not like songs that I'm like I'm proud of all those songs, but yeah, they were just like rough demos.
Mhm.
So definitely that. Just I was just like trying to get stuff out there so people could, start to
Yeah,
hear
no,
it.
SoundCloud's definitely a good jumping off point, a good place to experiment, I think. So, and
Yeah.
oh gosh, I wish I could remember right now, but there's one song on there that I wish you'd put on Spotify. So if you're taking any requests, I'll text you that. I'll text you the song. I'll have to find it.
Is it it's either I want to write a love song, I miss it,
It's I miss it. It's I
or
miss it.
Susie,
I
I
love
miss
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
I love that one.
That's a good Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. I actually played that song with my little
Mhm.
sister for a school event this year and it was cool. We did like harmonies and stuff. So that was
No,
fun.
I that
Yeah.
is one of my favorite songs on there. Um, but um, what was your experience like releasing? You said "Cold" was your first song on Spotify. Did you feel like pressure, like it had to maybe be like the best song in the moment that you had written?
No, that one was funny because um I wrote it one night and then that night this was over the summer. This was early
Hmm.
summer, so I was kind of just like school was over. I had nothing to do really and so I just produced it up that night and then I was like, "Oh, I mean this is um yeah, I mean that definitely like it was just kind of just happened and then I was like, "Oh, this is one that I think would be good
Yeah.
to put out because it's like an
Mhm.
very acoustically driven track and I think that sort of represents me
No,
well."
yeah, I definitely, I think it's a very good song. It's like I said, my favorite on Spotify. Um, And no, I just love that one. So I think it was honestly a great
Yeah.
first choice to put out on Spotify. So,
Thank
but
you. Thank you. Yeah.
so you're 18 years old. You're on
Yeah.
the younger side for songwriters and musicians. So, what advice would you have to teens that want to be songwriters, or like they don't necessarily have to be songwriters? They could just have other creative endeavors. A lot of teenagers can have the fear of putting out creative work to the public somewhere that their family or friends could see it. What would you say to somebody who's struggling with that fear, and like maybe how to get over that fear?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tough because like I still have that sort of fear of um showing, especially with like with stuff like songwriting and writing in general. It's like it's such like a personal thing, and like that obviously that's really hard to share. But if it's like if I mean, and you can write and never share, and that's totally okay too. But I think to get over it, you really just gotta like do it. You just it's just exposure
For sure,
therapy.
for sure.
Like I remember the first time I even played not even one of my songs. The first time I played it, it was a Lumineer song I played for my mom and sister. Like I was literally like
Mhm.
shaking because it's so nervous. Because I was so nervous. But like yeah, you just gotta do it, and it gets less nerve wracking as
No,
you
I
go.
really like that part that you said that it's totally okay to write for yourself and not show it. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's definitely important to remember that not every hobby you have has to be exposed to the world or on the internet. I really like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I still like write poetry and stuff that just for myself. Just yeah.
that's some good advice there. I really like that. But has there been any, with releasing music, has there been any like changes with your friends or maybe your family? Like, do they get like a new insight into your mind? How has your relationship changed with your family and friends after releasing songs?
Yeah. I mean, with stuff like with Cold, that's like a more sad track. Like obviously like
Yeah, yeah,
they might not say it to your face, but people are like, oh, like what's going on? And I think like the thing with songwriting, especially with that song too, actually, it's like the emotion is definitely very personal, but like it's not like all I'm really going
no,
through
yeah,
it like
yeah,
completely accurate. But I'm sure people talk like not in
yeah,
front in front of me, but no, no one's come up, no one's been like
yeah. No, but it's all been good.
too
It's all been
crazy.
good. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good
yeah,
to know. That's
yeah.
good to know. But um, so now this is what I wrote down, and I don't know if you would define it as this because I said as you're starting to get into the music industry. I don't know how you feel about that. Do you feel like you're getting into the music industry, or what do you think about that? Because I know,
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely I with the Sidewalk Was The Shore with the sort of attention it was kind of getting on TikTok. There was a lot of um people that saw it that or there's like a lot of industry
mhm.
people that want to sort of get involved or just sort of connect. Um, and I mean, yeah, the music industry. I mean, that's what I want to do. As for
Yeah,
work. I mean, I want to be in the industry. I want to make music as
for
my
sure.
job. So I guess yeah. I mean, it's just like I think I'm on the right road. I just gotta keep
Yeah. So
driving.
would your biggest challenge be people like wanting to, I don't know what the necessary right term is, but like come in and kind of take over what you're doing or be in charge of like your music? Has that been a challenge or what's been the biggest challenge?
No, I think at this point, like obviously I don't have like a label or anything. So and it's just like there is like there's a lot of bad people in every industry, but there's also a lot of like good people, and I think it's just about finding the right people that really believe in you know my
No,
vision
yeah,
and
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. Um, but we what you do mainly, you upload your clips to TikTok, and that's kind of how you promote your songs. I would say. Would you agree with that? Um, that's like mainly how you promote your songs on TikTok.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm trying to get better at like using
No,
other
no, no, no. I'm
platforms
not saying
because
there's anything wrong with that. I was just like double checking. um,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
like, has TikTok given you any opportunities that like wouldn't have been possible without that platform?
I mean, yeah, literally all like all the streams on the Sadok was the shore are from people seeing it on TikTok. Like I didn't get any like editorial playlist support on Spotify or anything. So it's like literally I'd probably have like 10 people, hearing my music if it
Yeah.
wasn't for TikTok. So I mean, yeah, that platform
No.
is has done a
I
lot.
I
Has done a
think
lot.
embracing TikTok, utilizing TikTok is definitely the route to go. I mean, there's absolutely
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. It gets you out there, I think. So,
Yeah, totally. Do you have a What's Possible pod
I do.
TikTok yet?
Nothing's uploaded on it yet, but there will be by the time this episode is out. So no, there
Okay.
will be,
Yeah.
and I'll send you all the socials, everything. So you can follow it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, what you do a lot of promoting on TikTok. What else goes into the promotion of a song?
I mean, like honestly, at this point, that's
Really?
it.
No, that's
Like,
totally fair. Like we just said, like.
yeah, that's it. I mean, like people, like my friends and stuff, obviously hear about it, but that's
Mhm.
not really, I would say, promotion.
Mhm.
That's more of just them being involved in my
Do you
life.
have
But
any
yeah, I mean,
other
TikTok.
ideas for like how you could promote it in the future?
I mean, definitely, I need like playing live is definitely
For
like
sure.
I mean, that's the best way to connect with
Oh yeah,
people, I
yeah.
think.
You get that face to
Um,
face
so I'm
experience.
trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And then yeah, I mean, I guess promotion in like today's like music industry, it's literally it's like all
Hmm.
online.
Yeah,
So
it really is. It definitely is. Um,
yeah,
but since you are so prevalent on TikTok, so prevalent on the internet, have you ever, maybe not outwardly, someone hasn't labeled you as a TikTok artist, but have you ever felt like you've been just a TikTok artist, or how do have you ever struggled with that?
yeah, I feel like that is kind of like I was actually just thinking about this the other day because like obviously TikTok's a promotional tool. You don't want to be like known as oh like he's that like folk singer from TikTok. Um, So like I used to do like with when I was running cold, I would do like some of those like CapCut templates and stuff, and like I've tried to steer away from that because I do not want to be known as sort of yeah just another TikToker, but that's definitely it's definitely tough because it's such a great platform.
I want to reassure you once again, like I don't think anybody thinks of you as just a TikTok artist. I think your music goes beyond that. But you know, but anyway, let's look to the future now because I feel like there's a lot in store there. So do you like you said earlier, you see yourself being a full time musician eventually, right?
That's definitely my goal. Yeah.
You're in college now. Are you like studying any sort of music type major or?
Yeah, so I'm at Belmont University in Nashville, and I'm like I'm in like their songwriting
Mhm.
program, but it's very music business focused. So I mean it's just the thought process behind that was just yeah, be in
Mhm.
Nashville, and there's lots of people
For
obviously
sure.
here that have
Nashville's a great way to
the same
connect
help.
with songwriters
Yeah,
and everything like that.
yeah,
So that's really exciting. I
yeah,
bet that's got to be exciting, a new environment and everything.
yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
been good so far. It's been good.
Um, have you ever thought, okay, we're getting into like questions I literally wrote down as a fan here, so I'm sorry if any of these get a little annoying, but
All good, all good,
have
all
you ever
good.
thought about putting an album out, or is that something in the works? Are you working on putting an album out?
So I think like the issue with an album at this point is like an album's really like you gotta have sort of more of that like core fan base
For
built
sure.
because I don't want to like put out an album and then obviously I have people. I mean, obviously like I hope you
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
of course.
but it's just yeah, I gotta like sort of build that up a little bit more before I want to put out an
I think
album
that's really
because
smart,
yeah
honestly. Yeah, no, that's
yeah
so true. Um, but looking into the future, let's say you do release an album, it's a massive hit, right? Is touring something you'd be interested in? Because I know a lot of artists now, especially, they have nerves around touring, and it can,
yeah
not a lot of artists are wanting to do it now. But is that something you'd be interested in eventually?
yeah totally. I mean, I love like traveling.
Hmm.
Like I've been very fortunate my whole life. My mom has been taking, my family all around the world and stuff, and it's just I love it. So yeah, I mean that's totally that's like my dream is to be on the road playing music. And
What's your experience with live music? Have you like I know you were talking about like that's the best way to connect. So, have you done any live
yeah,
shows?
yeah. So I did a handful of stuff like for the school and grad parties
Yeah.
and stuff. But actually last summer, I did a lot of like street performing in Boston. So I would like go out in like the North End, which is a neighborhood there, and I'd just like put my case on the ground and start playing covers and like I mean that was really fun because like there'd be like little kids like dancing around and this group of like 50-year-old guys like singing like country
That's
roads
so
with
cool. No,
me.
I think that is so awesome. It kind of helps you like I could imagine it helps you imagine your future yourself, actually performing in front of people and people really connecting with music. So, I mean,
Yeah, and it helped me get over like some performance
for
anxiety too
sure.
because like I remember I was playing Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran. and like I misjudged my ability to sing that song so much because I was trying to go so fast, and I was running out of breath, and it was like awful. And there was a tour walking by, and it was like so
Oh my
bad. But
gosh.
it's like at the end of the day, like
No, yeah,
whatever.
you got
Like,
to have a few mistakes, right? But yeah.
yeah, like yeah.
So where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Classic old question.
Classic
Yeah.
question. Oh wow, that's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. I don't. I mean, I guess just yeah, still doing what moves me, and yeah, doing what I love, making music still,
Yeah,
hopefully.
for sure. But no, before we get
Yeah,
to my last question, which is a surprise question, I didn't let you know about this before, but
surprise.
surprise
Okay.
question. Before we get to that, I want to know: is there just one big general advice you want to give to anybody listening?
I guess we kind of talked about. We briefly touched on this before we started recording, but like if you I guess yeah, if you want to do something, just start. Like you just got to start. Um, and that I mean that's a big hurdle I think for a lot of people. It was kind of a hurdle for me. Like debating and like when do you start? Like there's never like a good time to start. You just gotta do it now. And I mean it's awesome that yeah you're starting right now
Yeah,
and
I
it's
really
gonna
just kind of.
and you're gonna see the benefits of
Mhm.
it like down the road. And it's just like yeah you just gotta do it. Just
No,
do
I
it.
think that's perfect advice. Especially for everybody starting out. That's perfect advice. So,
Yeah,
all right, you ready for the surprise question?
I'm ready. I'm
Because
so
I
ready.
don't know if you're gonna remember, but a while ago when I told you that I was gonna do this podcast thing, I said, "Hey, oh yeah, it's clicking." So I said, "Hey, you should do a cover of Carry On by
Yep.
Fun," and I
Yep.
made you the deal that once I get this podcast thing going, you've got to have this cover made. So is that something that's gonna
Oh
be
man.
happening quickly after this podcast?
I'm gonna look up the chords and the lyrics right after we hop off
Perfect.
this,
Okay.
and I'll get that
Awesome.
going.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah.
no, thank you so much for joining me. So, yeah, is that all you got? Anything else?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, thanks for
No.
having me. And this is awesome that I'm so honored to be a part of your
Yeah, first ever episode.
your
You're going to go down in What's
first
Possible
episode.
history. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. So,
exactly.
thank you so much for joining us. And maybe we'll see you in the future when you're touring in a stadium. Who knows?
Maybe, maybe.